This video is for client M. This is the 2020 Vision Year Ahead reading. So this reading is going to look at the major themes for 2020, the lessons from 2019, and in 3 specific areas we are going to dive deeper into client M's 2020. So the card of the year for this client is the Hermit, and I calculate that based on their birthday and the current year. So this card is the number 9, and that is this client's number of the year. So we have the Hermit here. The Hermit is all about the journey alone. So this journey is primarily, in my experience and opinion, about learning on one's own, not necessarily going to any type of schooling, but it could be some sort of independent study. There's also an idea that the Hermit does not know exactly where they are going. They only can see the first few steps of the path ahead of them, but they have a hope for the path ahead. They know that they are heading in the right direction, and it's not through a blind faith. Let me grab this card that fell. So I don't want to make it seem like it's through a blind faith. It is through concentrated action and focus within each individual step that they know that they are on the right path. And it's an internal knowing, definitely. So there's a lot of wisdom to be had within the Hermit year. And that is going to help guide us throughout the rest of the reading here. So far for our lessons for 2020, I have pulled the Strength for client M and the 3 of Swords. Let me pull one more for your 2019 lessons that are going to guide you into 2020. One more. And we have the King of Cups. Okay, so with the Strength card, I'm seeing that you learned a lot about your inner power and your inner strength. I'm imagining Lizzo's whole vibe with this. I feel like you really channeled into your inner badass, seeing yourself as, like, I have this mug right here. It says Girl Boss. So, like, I'm really channeling those vibes for you, especially seeing you find power in your female sense of self, or your inner feminine is what I mean to say. That feminine energy, and you're seeing yourself as highly empowered. You may have been in some situations that required you to be strength. And the other thing about strength is that it's not all coming out and showing off, look at how strong I am. Sometimes it's being quiet. It's getting this inner lion, this inner beast, more tame, and you probably feel like you're more in control of yourself in this year. So in 2019, it looks like you might have experienced some sort of heartbreak or heartache, and it doesn't mean that you experienced this heartache in 2019, but you have gone through a lot of healing of that heartbreak in 2019, and it seems like you now understand how to move through that, and it's not so much having a hold on you as we're moving into this new year. Or you've come up to some sort of peace. You have come to some sort of peace in that heartache, and you're more comfortable with experiencing your emotions in general, being the heartache, the hard ones to experience. So then we have the King of Cups, which goes hand in hand with all of these. All of these 3 tell me that you have really gotten a hold on your emotions this year. You feel like this past year, you feel like you have mastered it, and that no matter what the storm around you, you have a solid foundation and you know that you can get through it. Perhaps you have really been working on coping mechanisms with your emotional health, and that shows. That is what I'm seeing here. So that really enforces the Hermit in that you have to go through your emotional journey alone. You can find support, you can have therapists, you can have friends that help you through it, you can take courses, but ultimately, and you can also supplement with supplements or psychotropic medication, whatever it is that you need, but ultimately it is your own independent journey, and that tells me that you've gotten yourself prepared for this hermit phase that we're getting into. Because in your hermit phase, you really are reliant on your own emotional stability. If you are trying to birth a new creative project, for example, you need to have your own motivation and your own passion that's going to push you forward, because it's very difficult to take on a new project, to do something on your own, to go through your own journey if you do not feel stable as yourself. So I see that you also became more comfortable with yourself. So for 2020, I'm going to look into the major themes. These might appear as, wow, your themes just like popped. Okay, so you have the Emperor, and then I will go with these two, but I'm going to focus on this one. So we have the Emperor, which 2020 is a year of the Emperor. 2 + 2 is 4. The Emperor is the 4 cards. So that is about, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Okay. So the Emperor is about logistics. It's about getting I wanted to say raise, but the word I'm looking for is promotion. Getting a promotion, moving higher in that realm of things, in the more masculine side. So the Emperor is like the CEO, the top of his game. He's very in his power in, for example, like the political sense, like he is up there, and he's, I don't want to emphasize too much about the physical realm, but about the logistic realm and the hierarchy and the linear thinking. He is high up there. So it tells me that you are going to be making moves logically this year. They're going to be stepping up. It may be in this material plane, it may be in your own thinking, but you also have the 4 of Wands, which, interesting, you have the 4 and then the 4. So the 4 of Wands here is about celebration. It's also about building a solid foundation. It is the most grounded of the Wands cards, in my opinion. So I'm seeing you building yourself up in a way, in a very stable way. So you've got this emotional stability. So with that emotional stability, you may be able to, so I mean, this also could be an engagement, creating stability within a relationship together. That's a possibility. Or just creating a foundation, creating a home, making things happen together. Doesn't necessarily only mean with 2 people. It could be as a community. So it could be that, I'm just spitballing here, you create like an organization, you're at the top here, and you're creating community with these people. Another major theme that you're going to have this year is balance. So it seems like balance is a difficulty for you. It's something that comes up. By the way, your reading is really strong. You have 1, 2, 3 major arcana that have come up besides your main major arcana for the year. So this is a big year for you. So Temperance is going to have you balancing, and I really want to say this is going to be balancing your own needs, yourself, your needs of your community, the needs of people in your relationships, and the needs of your work. So you're building community and building your life this year is a big theme, and as well as building your work, building your reputation, moving up logically. So you are going to need to balance your own needs within all of that. Make sure that you're not giving all of yourself away, and make sure you're not giving yourself too much into one cup or the other. You need to have balance within the two. And even in times where it seems possible, it's thought that these cups are going back and forth. So it can defy gravity. So there'll be moments where you might feel like it's impossible and you're going to want to retreat in your hermit way. First of all, I want to highlight that it is okay to retreat. This year, you're probably going to be feeling like that a lot. And from a mental health perspective, from a coaching perspective, being by yourself is okay. And this might be the year that, I don't know how comfortable you are with yourself being by yourself, but you might be becoming even more comfortable this year with that concept. So in making all of these moves and making all of this happen, you may need to find balance by retreating from everything entirely and just sticking to yourself, staying in your own lane per se. All right, so in your areas, we have work first. So let me go ahead and pull that. So what does client M need to know about work this year? Yeah, that one wanted to come out. Oh, okay. You know what? We're going to give you both of these. All right, so we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. So 8 of Wands, typically, I would say that that's about speed. So 8 of Wands in reverse tells me that there is something slow going. So if there's a change that you're looking for in work, it is going to be slow. And then we also have the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands is about praise. But it like wanted to come out, and it also didn't want to come out. So this tells me that there is going to be a situation in which you may or may not receive praise. And it's more of a matter I'm seeing in how you respond to this situation. Are you doing something in your work for the praise of it? And I think that's why it didn't pop out. It's almost like the cards wanted to tell you, get ready, you're going to be praised, you're going to get the recognition that you deserve, all of your hard work is going to pay off. But it didn't seem to pop out because it's more like, is that really what you want? Is that why you've been doing all this work? Is that why you've been pushing yourself as hard as you have? And also, don't expect any praise anytime soon. If you are going to get praise, it is probably going to be down the line, something that you're going to have to work for. And I really want to encourage you to think on this card and this concept. Is your work something you're doing for the praise of it? And are you receiving the praise that you deserve? Because there's nothing wrong with doing work for the praise of it. Just make sure that that is something that you are comfortable with and that is in line with your values. Okay, so relationships is your next card. And client and I discussed this is going to be more about all relationships, not necessarily just romantic relationships. I was on a roll there. I needed to come ground and center. Bring some of my energy back. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have the 9 of Cups in reverse. Typically, the 9 of Cups is about being satisfied, being content. So this year, I see it as a building year. You might not feel super satisfied with your relationship with everybody around you. However, I do think that you will be satisfied with your relationship to yourself. On the one hand, I really just want to tell you that's okay. You aren't going to be happy with every single relationship in your life at every given moment. And I think that's what's being highlighted here is not every single relationship is going to be 100% all the time. So at any given moment in this year, you don't have to have all of your relationships cups filled. So for example, if you were to imagine all of these cups are a relationship, not all of them are going to be perfect at the same time. There's going to be moments throughout the year where one cup is filled more than the other. And that also comes back to your temperance card of your theme of needing to remember to find balance. So that balance is going to be in work, it's going to be in community building, it's going to be in your relationship to yourself, and it's going to be in relationship to other people as well. Make sure that you're finding balance and not overfilling one cup to the detriment of the other. Okay, and your last card is in the theme and area of self. So what message does client M need in self? You have a lot of cards that are like, I think I want to talk to her, but I'm not sure. So I'm interested in that aspect of your reading, but that is something for you to dwell on, not myself. Okay, and in the position of self, we have Tower. Get ready. This is going to be a lot of movement and motion and perhaps your mindset or something around you. You could be moving house, moving job, relationships could be crumbling. The Tower is about crumbling. It's about releasing. It's about letting go. These people are falling out of the Tower. So this makes a lot of sense to me because in yourself, you are going to be probably shedding a sense of self. You're getting ready to wrap things up. The number 9 in general for your year being the year of 9, the year of the Hermit. The Hermit is just the representation of 9 in the tarot. But 9 is getting ready to end cycles. So as you are getting ready to end cycles, think of yourself as a snake. You're getting ready to shed your old skin. So a lot of things are about to get changed up. In order for you to be comfortable letting go of the old, there is going to be something that gets shaken up in your life. Like usually we need something big to happen in order to make major change in our life. So the major change is coming. It may not be this year, but there are going to be situations which are going to give you grand opportunities for growth. And the Tower card gets a negative reputation. It's known as one of like the quote unquote bad cards, but I definitely don't see it as such. I see it as a huge opportunity for growth. So I will let you know that this looks different for everyone, but it can be something like a car accident. It can be something like getting like your roommate moves out and you weren't ready for it, or you get laid off from your job, or there's a natural disaster. So there's a lot of big things that can happen. That doesn't necessarily make them bad, but I am giving you that warning, quote unquote, of what other people have experienced the Tower card to be and what I've experienced the Tower card to be, because that way you can be prepared. Okay? So I see a lot of growth happening this year and a lot of introspection, looking within yourself. And I will get to your January through December reading and I will attach it to this reading. So for now, just sit tight.